In this video, I will be explaining how to use the bend tool and how to bend plates in Fusion 360 to create something like this in your VEX CAD. Usually this is used for trying to create some kind of backboard that arcs for your design. So something to note is that the only way I know how to do this is by using a more advanced form of CAD where you do not use this modify part tool. Like, this is a plugin we use to make CADing easier to learn in Fusion 360 for VEX members, but the way I'm going to do this is more like how we CAD in FRC. So yeah, so to do that, instead of using the V3 library, which you've been using so far, we're going to actually use the V1 library. And this is how I CADed for the change-up season the year I did VEX. I did not have the V2 or V3 library or the plugin. And I managed to learn it all in 1 year, so it's definitely it's definitely doable. So we're going to insert a plate. Okay. And whatever. I guess I can point to point this. Well, to this. Okay, and then I'm just going to use the new tool. Shift it over 4 inches. Yeah, that seems about right. Okay. So why am I using this piece instead? If we actually look at this one that was imported from the other library and we show the sketches it has, right? All of these sketches are actually, you know, still, they don't follow with the plate because they're assuming you keep the plate flat and the plate is no longer flat. So these sketch points are kind of useless. If you ever want to point to something to one of these surfaces, I mean, if it's just another plate, you know, we can, if I go to point, right, you can, sorry, components, origin, right, there we go. You can select like one of these edge points and just line that up with another edge point if you need to center something on one of these holes. And this is something I had to do all the time back when I CADed, right? We know this distance between these two sides is 0.182 inches. I mean, that isn't exact. We can make it more precise, but whatever. 0.182 is good enough. Okay, and so what I would do is I would, well, I can show you. I can go to whatever. I'll switch back to the V3 library because why not? Hardware, spacers, boom. Okay, V3 library. I believe, what is this, 5, 10, 15, 20? I believe this is rotated 20 degrees. Okay, and what I would do is I would point it here, then to one of these edges, okay, and then free move it, well, we saw it was 0.182 inches across, so this is 0.91 inches towards the center. Okay, 0.918, 91 inches to the center, right? And that's what I would do. That's how I would align things. So it's not quite as easy because you don't have those center points and all the holes to line up to. But unfortunately, when you bend the tool, even if you used one of the plates from the original library, the points are not going to follow the plate. So because of that, I mean, in my opinion, it's like, whatever, you might as well just use the old plate because this one doesn't come with the points and the points are useless anyways. And then you have one less sketch to turn off later. Okay, so anyways, just a basic rundown of how you align things when you don't have these center points, right? You point to one of the edge pieces, and then you shift by 0.091 inches. But all right, now we're going to get to the bend tool. Okay. All right, so now the bend tool. First step is we're going to right-click on this. Actually, you don't right-click. You click S to pull any shortcuts, right? And we're going to convert to sheet metal. Okay, source. Oh, whoops. Sorry, you have to break the link first, then you can convert to sheet metal. That makes more sense. Okay. And then I believe we can do convert to sheet metal. Yeah, okay. Why you have to break the link is that a link means that when you import a piece, it's like going to remain the same as in the original file. Okay, because you have the plugin so far, the plugin has been automatically breaking the link for you whenever you need to modify a piece. But in this case, you would manually have to break the link before you can modify the piece, right? But okay, so we're gonna convert. So you have to break the link, then we're gonna convert to sheet metal. We're gonna click on the top surface of this sheet. Okay, and we want it to be aluminum because that's what it is. Mm or inches doesn't matter. Let's just use mm. Okay, whatever. It really doesn't matter. Okay, and then it'll change the symbol from being this cube to being this blue bent plate. Okay, so now we can use the bend tool on this plate. But first we have to create a sketch on top of it. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to activate the plate. So when I create this sketch on top, oh boy, there we go. It's going to like create the sketch inside here. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to draw some lines across using the bottom of, there's a slight arc here, so I want to use the bottom of it, which shows that symbol. There we go. Another one. If that ever happens, you just need to click the check mark button. Maybe this isn't constrained properly. There we go. Okay, that's constrained. All right. I'm doing one every 5 holes, by the way. What the hell? Sorry. There we go. Okay, and then the last one. Oh, oops, okay. Yes, I make mistakes too. There we go. Okay. So we have to create these lines where you want the bends on your plate to happen, right? And we're creating literally the same plate as I already showed here, and there was a bend every 5 holes. So we drew these 4 lines in between these sets of 5 holes. Right, so finish sketch. Now we're going to use the bend tool itself, and you can only use the bend tool when on a component you've converted to sheet metal, and also there has to be a sketch on that component. Okay, so now I'm going to use the bend tool. Stationary side. So where you click matters for this. I'll show it twice, but this first time I'm going to click here. Okay, matters very specifically where you click. And then now, Fusion's kind of dying because this uses a lot of memory. I'm going to add a bend. Okay, and you always want to start with the bends that are furthest away from where you've clicked for your stationary side. Because, for example, if I bend this closest line here, okay, oh dear, just give it a moment. Okay, the default is 90 degrees, right? It will bend 90 degrees, and that's fine, but the sketches do not follow the plate. So if I want to bend at another point where I did draw 5 holes out, I'm not going to be able to create a bend there. So I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to start with the one furthest away. Okay. How you do this is you put your mouse like to the right of the line very slightly. Okay, and we don't want this. We want 5 degrees, and we also generally want to bend from the center. Just creates a slightly different bend, but yeah. Okay, and I'm going to create another bend by clicking on this plus sign in the bend tool. And now since I bent the section that's furthest away, I can still bend this second section piece. It's still flat, aligned with the sketch. If it would let me. Okay, so I'm going to click there, and it should do the same. The bend line 2 should be the same as bend line 1. That's usually how it works. Shouldn't have to manually change it each time. Yeah, there we go. So now they're both bent. I'm going to do this one more time. 2 more times, actually. Okay, and again, I can't stress like enough that you need to. It's very specific where you click the stationary side. I clicked here, right, and also that you bend the points furthest away. Sorry, the lines furthest away, slowly getting closer to where you click for the stationary side, right? Okay, and then that's that, and we have load. We have bent the piece, okay, and then now I'm just gonna hide the sketch because we no longer need it, and the plate is bent. Okay. I'm just going to do it again, showing what happens if you click the middle as being the stationary side. Okay. So I'm just going to manipulate the timeline a bit. And again, so now I pull up the bend tool. And for the stationary side, I click on the center. Okay. This is the part that's going to remain flat. And I can add a bend over here. And default is this, but I'm going to change it back to 5 degrees and make the bend at the center. Okay, and I'm going to add another bend. Come on, computer, you got this. Okay, and so that so far has been basically the same, but now I'm going to start on this side, right? And I'm not going to do the right line, I'm going to do the left line because that's further away from the where I clicked the stationary side face to be. So I'm going to click there. I'm going to add another one and go here. All right, and you can see that it looks a bit different because of where we chose the stationary side to be. And yeah, sometimes this is going to matter. Sometimes you're going to want to. Generally, you want to make the bottom one the stationary side, but sometimes you want to make the middle the stationary side. It just depends what you're doing, and you have to think about what makes sense. But again, once you're done with the bend tool, you hide the sketch. Okay, and that is the bend lesson.